Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to be building this end grain butcher block. Actually we already built it, but I'm going to show you how. We're using some cherry and some maple, and it's a lot of fun. So first thing we need is some wood. I've pulled some cherry and maple 8/4 pieces from our infamous stack over there that we've accumulated over the years, and we're going to be using a straight line saw, some people call it a glue line saw, to rip this material up. This saw is a beast. It is capable of ripping up to, let's see, what does that go to, 4-inch thick lumber. And I've tested that theory out. I mean, it's a monster. But basically what it has is this steel conveyor that holds the material perfectly straight. It even has a laser on there if you want to use the laser to, it shoots a laser beam all the way down here, and it would allow you to line up your board so you don't need a fence. And you'll see once it grabs the board and starts cutting, it just takes it, you just let go and it does the rest. But anyway, it's called a glue line saw because it puts such a straight edge on wood that it's able to be glued together without using a joiner, which we have. That's an 8-inch Grizzly joiner over there, and we don't use it that much anymore. Anyhow, let's get ripping some wood. This is going to be a 4-foot blank, 4 foot long, and I orient these maple on one end and cherry on the other, so you can just flip them and it ends up giving you your checker pattern. So maple cherry, isn't that a beautiful piece of cherry? I love it when it does that. Anyway, so we'll glue this up, and then I'll show you the process of planing these blanks down, and we run them through our my 25-inch Woodmaster planer made in Kansas. That machine's about 20 years old. One of the first real heavy pieces of equipment I ever bought, and it's still running strong. What can you say, right? Alright, so we'll get these glued up. Once it's glued up, through the magic of preparedness, I can show you one already glued up. So there you go. And we will take and run them through the planer, and then through the sander, and then get them all cut up. Alright, next step, we're going to sand the blank so we get it nice and smooth. And we're using our Extrema 42-inch wide belt for that. This particular model has a digital height, so normally we move about 10 thousandths per pass. So our height would be 1, 7/8 start, and erase the bed up. Okay, so that's sanded to 100 grit, which is plenty good enough for a blank that we're going to cut up and re-glue anyway. The belts we use for this wide belt sander are 43 by 60, and they are cloth, and we tend to buy what they consider economy cloth, which is nothing fancy going on with the aggregate there. And 220 we use paper. Paper just gives a better, finer, a more fine finish, in my opinion. So, all right, so let's go cut this thing into a bunch of little pieces. That'd make a nice block, just like it is actually. But let's cut the thing into pieces, man. Okay, I got the blank in our panel saw, and I've made some marks about every 7 inches. The blanks that I want them to end up being 3.5 inches, and that's right now is where you just determine really the thickness of the block. You want to obviously yield as many as you can out of your blank, and you want to take in consideration the height of the block too, because remember, sitting on a kitchen countertop height, the thicker the block is, it might be a little nicer, but it makes it a little more difficult for some people to use. So anyway, I've chosen to start with 3.5 inch blanks or thereabouts, and the block should end up around 3¼ inches tall. Alright, so that'll break it down into manageable sizes. I can go over there and take them smaller on the table saw. And that's a 1265S Supercut by Holzer, and it's about I don't know, 12-15 years old, and it's a great saw. One of the things we used to process panels with before we switched to CNC, which is behind that stack of wood. But anyway, okay, let's break these down into smaller pieces. Alright, we're going to get this broken down into 7-inch pieces, and then we'll break it down into 3.5-inch pieces. Okay, I like to set my clamps up and just kind of clean the burrs off of these blanks and get everything sort of preset, just to make sure I got my clamps right. There's going to be a whole lot of glue used on this glue up here, and I don't want it. I want to be able to do it as quickly as I can. And there's a defect here, so we'll place that to the outside so that we can sand it off the block when it's done. So that's it, really. So that goes down here, and be this block measures about 18 by 21, and what I like to do is just rotate these over, glue them, rotate the next one over, glue it, rotate this over, glue it. When I get about, maybe make 3 stacks, and then rotate the stacks over, and spread my glue with a block of wood, because I'm cheap. Well, got this one in wrong, but now it's in right. Just want to snug these up right now and try to get this alignment going. Get that glue from falling out of there. I'm gonna pull this together real slow so I can make sure that alignment stays. And I'll get a hammer and tap it to keep it in a line here as this glue's going on. And so far so good. All right, so we've got the glue dried, and we've busted it out of the clamps, and we will take this thing over to the wide belt sander and yeah, heavy duty. We'll run it through the wide belt sander. I'll show a little clip of that, and we'll use an old belt. We keep our old belts just for busting off glue and stuff like that. All right, this is a Extrema 43x60 sander. This is my second sander. The first sander that I had was a Time Savers, I think, 36 inch. And when I upgraded, I upgraded in horsepower and in width. This is 25 horsepower. Pretty sure it's 25 horsepower. Okay, there you go. The block is sanded nice, and we'll see how we can see that in the camera if possible. Okay, to 100 grit. Now we're going to go to 220. Real quickly, a tip on sanding belts, and this has to do with any sanding belts as far as I'm concerned. Those arrows on the belt, disregard them if the belt is built with a butt joint. Now, if the belt is built with a lap joint, like this one, where the belt laps over and it's bonded together, those arrows are important. We run our belts in both directions when they're butt joint to extend the life. All right, now we're gonna palm sand this baby a little bit, and this is what we use. We use this Kona Flex 150 sometimes, and sometimes we use a different paper depending on the price. So I'll bust this thing out and put some oil on it. All right, all sanded up, and use what we normally use on these blocks, and that is this booze. Where is it? There it is, mystery oil. That's all I got left. I may have to, hopefully this will be enough to oil this top. Need to order some more, but we'll at least get it oiled up and be able to see what it's going to look like. Looking pretty righteous. All right. All right. There she is. Okay. Back away and get a whole view of that. I think it turned out pretty good. I've done some different designs in the past. I like this one. You could play checkers on it, I reckon, or chess. There you go. That's the finished product. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all take care.